greatest city on Earth. Now a spawn of jungle and ruins.
Things have changed. What's the biggest change since Crysis 2?
There's a lot of changes. Generally, we're changing every aspect of the game. I mean, the setting is a completely new setting, yet it has similar references back to either of the previous games. The characters is a new character you kind of play, but he has legacy back to the past in the franchise. And you know, it's story-wise you're brought forward in time, and it's the same front you're dealing with, but the world has completely changed. Cell is becoming a more and more powerful organization. They've erected these massive nanodome structures over a number of cities, and their claim is that they do that for the common good and because they protect people and yada yada. But what they really do is they contain this Ceph activity that they research, which they use to, you know, get technology and get weapons technology and so on and so forth. And they're very interested in you, Prophet, in your nanosuit, because you're the only successful merger of Ceph and human DNA into kind of one context.
They forced us out for the good of mankind. But the Ceph aren't gone. There is one thing left to do. Hunt them all down and take back the city.
What does it mean, the Seven Wonders? How do we see it back in the game?
So thematically, it just means completely different themes. So let's say that the thing you saw here had a swamp theme to it, which is very eerie, condensed, clammy. There are frogs and bogs and stuff like that. That's one take on it. Another take on it could be much more open grasslands, or things that are very tall, or things that are tall but you're down in the ground, like in a canyon setting, you know. So it's things that completely changes the perception of what you should do and what you should feel in the environment, right? And it's a thing that we couldn't really do before, because before we had to adhere to the rules of nature. It's a little bit, it's almost like having the freedom that they have when they do something like Pandora in Avatar, right? You can suddenly do things that, I'm not saying that extreme, I'm just saying that you can do things that go beyond the perception of what would normally be like, yeah, sure, that's a rainforest, right? Where people would normally go like, come on guys, have you ever even been to a rainforest, you know? So it's a great kind of play space to have. And we found 7 of these unique concepts. There are obviously more, but 7 we found that uniquely supports our gameplay as well as the story we're trying to tell. The change of levels and level design in general and environment changed completely how that gameplay formula works. So that's one thing. Second, of course, we do change things, right? So we are pushing stealth gameplay a little more this time, or we give you a broader toolkit here. The reason for that being the theme of the game is kind of Prophet becoming the hunter and getting shit done, to put it blunt. And in order to do that, you need to feel like a hunter. And in this urban rainforest setting, we then added the bow as a thing you can fire while you're cloaked, which dramatically changes what you can use stealth for in the game. At the same time, the bow is an interesting contrast to the high-tech nature of your suit, where everything is nanotechnology and microprocessors and advanced warfare. This thing is as mechanical and kind of old school as it gets, yet it's a super high-tech version of that. So it both fits and contrasts you as a character at the same time, and just fits the hunter setting and fits the rainforest setting, and pushes the kind of hunter-prey gameplay relationship.